So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by clicking on the PayPal link in the description box, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Also, leave us a thumbs up. It helps us get more views.
And we just had the Friday the 13th press conference from the Las Vegas Police Department. Just went up on the LVPD page about an hour ago. LVMPD, that's their YouTube page. I've downloaded it. I've watched maybe the first 10 minutes of this, and already I saw a lot of things that really made me want to question, again, what's going on. Interesting thing about this press conference right in the beginning, he doesn't take any questions. He says he's not going to take questions, he's just going to give out information. And so we're going to play the whole press conference, and I want to go through some things. But first, I want to show you a couple articles, and then we'll get to the press conference. So right here, mystery injured Mandalay Bay security guard Jesus Campos vanishes. Whereabouts of Vegas massacre hero unknown after canceling scheduled media interviews. And there we have where in the world is Jesus Campos. This is being reported by numerous outlets. We'll get to that one in a second. This is Gateway Pundit. Skip's interview goes missing, and now family's under a gag order. Here's another one. Las Vegas security guard Jesus Campos disappears moments before TV interviews. That's on Fox. Here's a couple videos that I'll come back to later, but just so you could also check these out as well. 2 videos that prove the FBI is lying about the Vegas massacre. And the reason I say FBI is because they have definitely taken control over what's going on in this whole investigation. This is a compilation of most of the press conferences they've given. I've watched basically every press conference that the LVPD has done to date, and watching how they change the narrative, how the information changes, and they say things like, we're not going to give out any information unless we know it's correct, and then they keep changing that, and then they go, well, you know, the information might change. So they're kind of wanting both sides here. And then this one, witness to Bellagio hotel shooting 45 minutes after Mandalay Bay shooting. Now, I'm going to get to that. Someone, Fred, just said no file history. In fact, I just tweeted this about Mr. Campos. So let's keep all this in mind before we go to the press conference. Breaking, 3 pics show zero work history for Jesus Campos at Mandalay Bay. Now he is MIA. There's a full video here. I'll show you that one in a second, but I want to show you these images. So there's Jesus Campos. There's no photo of him, no job history, nothing about on his profile page. And this is supposedly sent from Mandalay Bay, secure an insider in there. And I'll show you the full video of that. But here we have names and contact information for a bunch of security employees, but nothing for Jesus Campos. Nothing. Okay, and here's the third other image. This shows that his manager is a man named Mr. Kevin Tice, and then right under Kevin is the CEO, John Marin. Once again, no picture of Jesus Campos. He's a security officer, but nothing else. So I tweeted that out, and here's the link to, this is from Scott Bisnack. He breaks it all down. He's the one who got those images, and you got to go to about hour 104 to where he starts talking about those. But I would encourage you, watch the whole video if you want. But that's an hour 4 is where he gets into that, and I break that down here. You can see where I guess you can't see where the timer is, but that's at an hour 09 is where he's showing that, and then an hour 10 and an hour 8. But it takes him a while to get into it, but the backstory starts at an hour 4. Now, during the press conference, Laura Loomer was not allowed to get in. Here's just a little bit of her getting ushered out by another officer. I guess this is the PIO. So here's how that went.
Can you guys step outside if you guys have questions? That's fine. We have the IO. I am PIO. Oh, great.
We were curious why you guys announced it only an hour before the press conference.
We told everybody to follow our Twitter page, and that's
we did, but it didn't really, an hour is not a lot of time, and
everybody else was here, so I apologize that you guys didn't get a message.
Okay, I do have a question. I do have a couple of questions.
Regardless of the amount of time, you didn't let us in.
Yes, sir.
Once the doors closed, once briefing started,
Citizen
you guys were not out here.
Independent journalists, you didn't let us in.
You guys were not out here when we closed.
The doors were never closed. For all the other press conferences, the doors have been open. The doors have been open.
Why did you take additional precautions and put an armed security guard, an armed officer,
and make it credentialed this time, so that you're keeping.
Compared to last
Officers
time.
are always armed, first of all.
You put a guard right in front of the doors to restrict access.
No, not to restrict it. To make sure that they're not bullying and knocking on the door.
It is evident that your department.
Pulling and knocking on the door. Oh, here's Mike Tokes gives him a little bit right here.
Your department is complicit in this, and it is outrageous, and the nation is watching, and they see what's happening.
Move along.
The nation is watching.
All right, so that was after the press conference. Now we will get to the full press conference. I'm navigating between screens. So we'll go back to the very beginning of this, and I'll probably stop it from time to time, and we'll keep going from here.
Well, welcome everybody. I'm obviously Joe Lombardo, Sheriff, Clark County, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. This press conference will probably be a little bit different than you experienced earlier.
Because I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm not going to let you ask any questions. But what will be the same is this man lurking behind me, staring at me, drilling holes in the back of my head with his eyes.
It's going to be more informational versus Q&A. So my intent today is to provide some clarification on some outstanding issues out there in the public forum, on reference timeline, fuel tanks, a couple other items. And then I'll provide the opportunity for SAC Rouse of the FBI to address the audience, and then we'll have a closing of the conference. Okay? And a couple of these items I will read from the narrative, because I don't want my comments to be construed or changed.
So he's going to read from the narrative so he doesn't screw up this time.
So I wanted to ensure the accuracy of that. But most of this conference will be done strictly through my narrative provided to you. Okay? Okay, first.
Okay, nothing weird about that long pause before a press conference. Now, he's 13 days into this. He's very this is probably the most emotional I've seen this man. Even on the night of the shooting, he wasn't this emotional. And I feel bad for Lombardo. He's been put in a rock and a hard place. They've already stated they've given all the electronics, all the guns have gone to the FBI, led by this man here. They call him Mr. Rouse. I call him, and Owen Schroyer calls him Mr. Ruse. Incidentally, Owen is on the air right now doing the War Room, which you can go watch at Infowars.com/show if you don't want to watch this detailed analysis that I'm going to be providing on this press conference. So far I've watched every press conference up to date and put them on a timeline and cut them up. And so here we go. Now we're starting into the press conference. Well, let's go back and watch that breath again, because I think it's very important that we look at that body language once again and look at the man who's look at those eyes. Look at that. I mean, he is gleaming behind this guy. I mean, could you do your job if you known you had an FBI agent standing behind you looking at you like that? That speaks volumes right there. Just that look. So here we go. Let's play.
My narrative provided to you. Okay? Okay, first and foremost, I want to give you an update on the injuries. This has been a big deal on my mind, as it has been the public, and I think it's important for you to be given an accurate picture of what is occurring associated with the injuries of the 1 October event. So as of 8 o'clock this morning, I was updated with the most current numbers, and let me back up just a minute. In the early throes of this tragedy, I had advised each and every one of you that items of information were going to change. The dynamics of this investigation is far-reaching, it's wide, it's huge, and you can't expect exact answers in the early throes. My intent in the early throes were to give you the information to provide that calmness in the community, to ensure that we didn't have a second player or a third player out hiding in the community intending to cause us harm. So,
also, what you notice is I think this guy's name is Cicero or Kulak or something. He's a commissioner. He's always looking out at the crowd. He always looks very sad during these. But look at Agent Rouse, Agent Ruse right there, just staring, just making sure that is a look of a handler, right there, and it's sad. I think Mr. Lombardo, and you can see this watching all the press conferences, and they have them all archived. I encourage you, go grab these and download them. Go download them. You can watch every press conference with all the different guys in here, and they have them all. You can go watch them, and you can see for yourself. Did they move them? It says all new videos. Let's go see where their videos are. Okay, no, they have all their press conference briefings. So you go take a look at these and just watch how the narrative changes. Take notes. Put your notes up online. Make your own videos. Okay? I only see, let's see, Wednesday. Maybe they are pulling them down. That's pretty crazy. Why would they want to do that? Why would they pull down their own press conference videos?
Some muzzle flash.
Go to their videos here. Let's see. Now, look, okay, so they're going to start here with this one. He's already got the FBI agent behind him, ready to go. And then they continue on, and you can watch him. This guy here, I forget his name, but he says, we're not going to give you information unless we know it's correct. And then they keep changing the timeline. In fact, it was this Friday press conference where, this is the second in command, I forget his name again, apologize. In fact, let's look up his name so I can get these names right. We don't want to be giving out bad information. This is Under Sheriff Kevin McHale. Kevin McMahale. That's this guy, and he talks about Jesus Campos in the beginning of this, how much of a hero he is. Says we gotta honor Jesus Campos. Well, let's see who this guy is. Let's get all their names right. Assistant Sheriff Todd Falslow. He's the one who says we're not going to give out any information that's incorrect. But as we can see, the narrative keeps changing. Oh, well, let's just go. How much change has this gone? Let's see. That's fine. Oh, Mandalay Bay Management says Las Vegas rampage began within 40 seconds after security guard reported shooting. MGM questions accuracy of new timeline presented by Vegas police who say gunman shot hotel security guard 6 minutes before he opened fire on the crowd. So this is what came out on Friday. People want to hear the video. We'll get to the video. You got to show all this other stuff, okay? Sit down, grab a drink of water, beer, whatever you want to do. It's Friday, and let's just look at this. So let's go back to that. Who shot 6 minutes before he opened? So that was the 9:59 that came out. That the shooter unloaded on Jesus Campos in the hallway. Now we hear about a maintenance man also who supposedly saw the shooting happen as well. And there's a recording of that. You can hear where he's calling down to dispatch. So let's go ahead and finish. We're only 2 minutes in.
There was no integrity question associated with that, as I've experienced through the cyberspace, questioning my integrity. I provided you the information as I knew it, and everybody in here knew it was going to change. So we will get through that. I'm not giving you 100% satisfaction associated with what I'm going to give you today, because I think some of that's going to change.
That's right.
And we will not know that until we're completed with this investigation. So back to where we were. I think it's important for the community of Clark County to realize we use 17 separate medical facilities to accommodate the injuries associated with this event. And that speaks volumes for the medical community here in Las Vegas, in Clark County. And it seems to be lost in the narrative associated with this, that it was strictly a public safety, fire, and police event. No, it was including the medical community. And I think it's important for me to give them their due respect. So 17 separate medical facilities. Today's numbers, 546 reported injuries. 501 of those have been discharged. In other words, they responded to a medical facility, they were treated for their wounds, and subsequently left to seek a healing process wherever they chose to do so. 58 is still the number of individuals that have died. Now, this is an important piece. 45 individuals are still hospitalized. Some of those are in critical condition. So 58 may raise. By the grace of God, it doesn't. And we shall continue to move forward. The medical profession will provide all the medical care necessary, but sometimes it's people meet their demise outside of our control. So I'm hoping that number does not raise, but today's number is 58. The fuel tanks. I'm going to read this narrative so my words do not get changed, but I want to provide you some information in reference to fuel tanks.
He literally says right there he's going to read from the script, so what he says doesn't get changed. Probably because he's really nervous right now. You can tell he's nervous. You don't even have to be a voice expert or a body language expert like Bombard, whatever her name is, who does these, to know that this guy is under severe stress right now.
It is believed the fuel tanks were fired upon with intent. McCarran's leaders have safety protocols in place which they re-examine following any safety-related incident. The leaders have already contacted experts in fuel storage out of the abundance of caution. I am more than confident that they will immediately implement any changes or security augmentations if they are so advised. I have been advised there is a very low probability that aviation fuel could be ignited by gunfire, and the tanks are outfitted for continual release of vapors. So that is the situation of the fuel tanks. Any future information that needs to be provided, reference that, will be provided by the Public Information Office out of McCarran Airport. The dates of the 25th versus the 28th. This was not breaking news, no matter who believed it to be so in this form. We were aware of the discrepancy.
You never reported it to the people. You were putting the timeline out of the 28th, and we had the day you put out that timeline, room service bills from the 27th. And then the next day after that, we had parking valet receipts from the 25th. So you changed the narrative on Friday, and it was breaking news.
28th versus the 25th in the early parts of this investigation. What we weren't aware of is why the date of the 28th was utilized in the early portion of this, as I was provided this information as part of the person registered in the suspect's room.
So that's either information he got from the hotel, and so he's alluding to that, or that he got from the FBI. Maybe the FBI was giving him that information to run with.
We have come to learn the suspect did occupy the room on the 25th, and the situation on how the room was compensated or paid for had changed, and the name as part of the registration had changed on the 28th to include Mary Lou Danley. So that was the confusion associated with that. No matter what the perception is, whether we were being non-transparent or we were attempting to be subversive, is false. I was acting on the information at the time I was provided it.
But you had citizen journalists uncovering new information. That's what he's not explaining. That he didn't put out that information until he was directly asked about it, which is why he didn't take questions.
If you're interested to learn how to create content and spread content, we'll show you how. Go to the Operation How YouTube channel, click on the About button, and then click Message. Send us an email. If you want to engage, become an info warrior, we will train you up.
If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon below the video to get notified when the latest new content drops.
Keep us in your prayers. We get a lot of resistance for putting these videos out, but to Yahweh be the glory.